Well, Christina and Ellen, good evening. The family is, as you mentioned, just devastated trying to find some news of their son. He was last seen, police say, here in the Buckeye area after leaving work that day. Desperate to find their son. The 24-year-old has been missing for days now and was last seen in Buckeye.
Fox 10's Irene Snyder spoke with the missing man's father and is live tonight with that story. Irene.
Well, Christina and Ellen, good evening. The family is, as you mentioned, just devastated trying to find some news of their son. He was last seen, police say, here in the Buckeye area after leaving work that day. I say he was driving a blue 2017 Jeep Renegade, and now that family is asking for the public's help in locating their son.
Very hard on the family.
Hello, Shay. How are you?
We're up day and night, making phone calls, making flyers, doing everything we can to try to find my son.
David Robinson's 24-year-old son, Daniel, went missing last week. Buckeye police say he was last seen driving away from work in the area of Sun Valley Parkway and Cactus Road.
He left the site there to go get lunch or whatever he went to, and have never been seen again.
His dad lives in South Carolina, and when he got word that his son was missing, he drove down to help in the search.
Devastated, especially not getting answers. The only thing we gotten was that he's missing for several hours. And by the time I got the notice, he was missing for several hours, and they didn't have any information or where he could have gone.
David says that Daniel graduated from college back east 3 years ago, and he's been working out here ever since, living in Tempe.
A major in geology. So when he got out of college, he landed a job here, and he loved it out here because of the rock formations and things like that. Very outspoken guy, very smart. He loves his family. We have real close ties with his sisters and brothers.
David says he plans on staying out here.
So yes, he has
sisters
sisters and brothers.
I have to find my son.
And the family says that Daniel is about 5'8". He's also missing a part of his right arm. If you're out there looking for him, they'd really appreciate it. They say that anyone with information has to contact the Buckeye Police Department. Reporting live tonight in Buckeye, I'm Irene Snyder for Fox 10 News.
So he graduated 3 years ago with a major in archaeology, moving to Arizona and living in Tempe for work.
He just loved nature. He loved his job. He's a geologist.
He worked as a field geologist at Matrix New World, offices based in Phoenix, Prescott, and Tucson. In a statement to 12 News, the company says they have been coordinating with the family to the best of their ability, and Daniel is a valued member of our team. We are very concerned. Meanwhile, David says he will stay here for as long as it takes, hoping and searching until his son is home.
We're not going to stop. We're going to try to spread the word as far as we can. I had to find my child. I had to find my son. So.
For answers after his son vanished more than 2 months ago.
Daniel Robinson disappeared on June 23rd in the far West Valley. He was last seen leaving his work site in Buckeye that morning. A month later, his Jeep was found in a ravine, but there was no sign of Daniel.
Team 12's Josh Sanders spoke with the private investigator hired by Robinson's family, who has not given up hope of finding Daniel.
Jeff McGrath is an expert at reconstructing accidents, but says when he saw the state of Daniel's Jeep, something was off.
Immediately when I saw the vehicle, I noticed there was something that wasn't right with it.
On July 21st, nearly a month after his disappearance, Daniel Robinson's 2017 blue Jeep Renegade was found rolled over in a ravine. Just miles from his work site, the airbags deployed, and no sign of the 24-year-old.
The damage didn't match with the terrain and where it was laying.
Where's my son?
Daniel's father, David, brought in private investigator Jeff McGrath to piece together what led up to the crash. Buckeye police handed over the Jeep and their report from the vehicle's airbag control module, or ACM, showing what happened after the airbags were deployed. McGrath's team ran their own analysis.
After the airbags came out, somebody turned that ignition over at least 46 more times. That's not normal. We usually see one or two because it adds one when we download the box. We have to put power to it.
The ACM also reports the vehicle's speed.
There's an additional 11 miles on the car since the airbags deployed. So that tells me The car was driven around after they crashed.
Buckeye police are now analyzing data from the Jeep's entertainment system connected to Daniel's cell phone. McGrath says the system shows the Jeep was involved in a collision around 1 p.m. on June 23rd, nearly 4 hours after he was last seen.
We have a gap in time, and we don't know where he went, what was going on at that point. By looking at the photographs, it doesn't match the area. Sometimes those could be a staged event, and this looked like a staged event to me.
At this time, the department has no evidence to suspect foul play or a crime. McGrath doesn't believe Daniel's disappearance was criminal either, after discovering he may have been struggling with his mental health weeks prior to his disappearance. Whatever the reason, his goal remains to find Daniel Robinson.
We want to bring him home to his family so they can have some closure.
I'm not going to give up. I'm not leaving until I see him again.
Josh Sanders, 12 News.
So this is a sad thing that's going on. Hold on. This is sad. So this child has been in a wreck, and then, hold on. I don't know why I'm spelling it like that. Hold on 1 second. I'm welcoming everybody in here. So basically, it's sad because he's 24 years old. He's 24 years old, and he just barely made 24 this past January online. I haven't spoke to the dad about his birth date, but his birth date, from what they're saying online, is saying January 14, 1997 is his birth date. And I'm sharing this also on Facebook in case you guys see multiple chats from my Unu and also my Facebook. Anyway, so basically, I just feel like this is just a sad case because they got like an additional 11 miles, for him to, after the crash, after the airbag deployed, they were able to see that 11 more miles was driven. And from what I'm understanding is that he has like his arm is kind of like part of it is missing. I don't want to say the other word that they say about that type of thing, but just basically, like I said, he's 24 years old, just made 24 this past January. And his dad was supposed to be getting on here, but he couldn't get on. He ended up not being able to get on the StreamYard. It kept giving him trouble and it kept blocking him. Then he reset his phone. That didn't work. So it got to the point where it was too late. So he ends up, he has something to do today. And he'll try to call me if he gets a chance. Hopefully I'll be on the live when he does call and we can talk to him for a little bit. But sometimes things don't work out. They're not always 100%. But I'm hoping this helps everybody know about him because nobody knows about him. His name is Daniel Robinson. His dad's name is David Robinson. And he has brothers and sisters. This is a sad case. This happened in Arizona. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the case seems very sketchy. Yeah, because like, how is someone going to drive an extra 11 miles after wrecking the Jeep the way they did? I really don't get that. So hold on, let me pull up another video to share. And it's sad that he had to get a PI on his own to try to find his son. So this is what the car looks like. How can someone survive this and be able to drive somewhere else? That doesn't make any sense. Look at his car right here, this Jeep. The Jeep right here. How? I don't get it. And that's him right here. It says crew searching desert area for Phoenix man. Find somebody else's skull. They found somebody else's skull. It was not his. So that was a good thing. Because then that means maybe there's a chance he's still okay.
Near Sun Valley Parkway and Cactus Road. Since then, an update on the search for a missing geologist. That's Daniel Robinson's picture. He was last seen June 23rd leaving a job site in Buckeye near Sun Valley Parkway and Cactus Road. Since then, his Jeep was found in a ravine with significant damage, but some personal items were still in the vehicle. According to Buckeye police,
Me
more than
too. I just
70
like deserts
square
as well.
miles have been searched using ATVs, cadaver dogs, a drone, a helicopter. They say that despite some rumors online, the only human remains found was that of a human skull, and that did not belong to Daniels. Anyone with info is urged to call Buckeye police.
Yeah, that's something right there. Hold on, let me share this so that way we don't have to keep going in and out of this. Oh, we're going to still have to go in and out because it's separate. Okay, hold on. Okay, well, that one didn't work. I guess there's certain ones you can't go online. There goes another one. That don't make no sense. Goodness. And what's crazy is his dad literally goes across so this one wants to do it too, huh? Hold on, guys. Continue to the side. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. Prayers to the family, and I hope he found I hope he finds them too. It's sad. It's so sad. And Shay, I appreciate you being in here for me, sweetie.
Carolina home to Phoenix.
I had to find my son.
His 24-year-old son, Daniel, missing since June 23rd.
Trying to make calls as I'm driving. I just had hopes that by the time I got here, something would turn up and I would see my son. I get to put my arms around him and talk to him and try to find out what's going on.
Buckeye police say Daniel was last seen driving a blue 2017 Jeep Renegade away from his work site near Sun Valley Parkway and Cactus Road.
The area he was last seen is a desert, so you got to be prepared for that. You have to get water. You have to get certain things to just go out there to look, So
he graduated 3 years ago with a major in archaeology, moving to Arizona and living in Tempe for work.
He just loved nature. He loved his job. He's a geologist.
He worked as a field geologist at Matrix New World, offices based in Phoenix, Prescott, and Tucson. In a statement to 12 News, the company says they have been coordinating with the family to the best of their ability, and Daniel is a valued member of our team. We are very concerned. Meanwhile, David says he will stay here for as long as it takes, hoping and searching until his son is home.
We're not going to stop. We're going to try to spread the word as far as we can. I had to find my child. I had to find my son.
And the family has set up a website for the public to reach out to them with any information regarding Daniel's disappearance. We have that information on our website at 12news.com. We're in Buckeye. Josh Sanders, 12 News. David Robinson.
Oh, that's the one I just showed. Let me see if this one is different.
Vanished more than 2 months ago.
Daniel Robinson disappeared on June 23rd in the far West Valley. He was last seen leaving his work site in Buckeye that morning. A month later, his Jeep was found in a ravine, but there was no sign of Daniel.
Team 12's Josh Sanders spoke with the private investigator hired by Robinson's family, who has not given up hope of finding Daniel.
Jeff McGrath is an expert at reconstructing accidents, but says when he saw the state of Daniel's Jeep, something was off.
Immediately when I saw the vehicle, I noticed there was something that wasn't right with it.
On July 21st, nearly a month after his disappearance, Daniel Robinson's 2017 blue Jeep Renegade was found rolled over in a ravine. Just miles from his work site, the airbags deployed, and no sign of the 24-year-old.
The damage didn't match with the terrain and where it was laying.
Where's my son?
Daniel's father, David, brought in private investigator Jeff McGrath to piece together what led up to the crash. Buckeye police handed over the Jeep and their report from the vehicle's airbag control module, or ACM, showing what happened after the airbags were deployed. McGrath's team ran their own analysis.
After the airbags came out, somebody turned that ignition over at least 46 more times. That's not normal. We usually see one or two because it adds one when we download the box. We have to put power to it.
The ACM also reports the vehicle's speed.
There's an additional 11 miles on the car since the airbags deployed. So that tells me the car was driven around after it crashed.
Buckeye police are now analyzing data from the Jeep's entertainment system connected to Daniel's cell phone. McGrath says the system shows the Jeep was involved in a collision around 1 p.m. on June 23rd, nearly 4 hours after he was last seen.
We have a gap in time, and we don't know where he went, what was going on at that point. By looking at the photographs, it doesn't match the area. Sometimes those could be a staged event, and this looked like a staged event to me.
At this time, the department has no evidence to suspect foul play or a crime. McGrath doesn't believe Daniel's disappearance was criminal either, after discovering he may have been struggling with his mental health weeks prior to his disappearance. Whatever the reason, his goal remains to find Daniel Robinson.
We want to bring him home to his family so they can have some closure.
I'm not going to give up. I'm not leaving until I see him again.
Josh Sanders, 12 News.
So basically, that's what they're saying. It was a car crash, but they have no proof of exactly what happened and who was in there when it did crash. You know what I'm saying? So they're just saying that that they found the car in the ravine. It was damaged, and it was driven 11 miles past the time that the airbag deployed, which makes no sense because when your airbag deploys, you can't really drive because that bag is like literally in the way. So I don't see how, like, I mean, they pop, and it's the steering wheel is just about the whole part of the steering wheel is popped open, like it bursts. Because when my husband, he had a deer jumped in front of his car, and he ended up hitting it, and the airbag deployed, and all you see is like this stuff that almost like powder that burns you or something. They say it burns your skin. It was an older car, and the whole steering wheel was popped open, and there was no way to fix it. Like, you can't push it back in, nothing. It was just busted, popped open. So I don't understand how or who was in the car when the accident happened, because they're not saying anything about it. They just know that the car was it was in an accident, and it was found, but he's not found. So, and they were saying something about him having some kind of like if he had a mental issue, but not like, I don't know. Hold on, let me see if I can find that one. Give me a second. I'm gonna look for it. He struggled with mental something. Let's see if it's on here. Oh, I haven't seen this one. Let's see what this one is. Is there a video? That's not about him. It said, with a spotlight on Gabby Petito, the parents of two missing black men call. Oh, nope, that's not it. Give me a second. That's definitely not it. I don't know why it says their name. It says the family of Janelle Day and Daniel Robinson missing for weeks, push answers 10 minutes ago. What? Hold on. That's weird. Hold on, let me see something here. Let's see if this has anything, because that was weird. That was strange that the car was able to be driven with the airbag deployed, and let alone 11 more miles. Exactly. That doesn't make sense. Hold on. Let's see what this is.
That's Daniel Robinson's. Now an update on the search for a missing geologist. That's Daniel Robinson's picture. He was last seen June 23rd leaving a job site in Buckeye near Sun Valley Parkway and Cactus Road. Since then, his Jeep was found in a ravine with significant damage, but some personal items were still in the vehicle. According to Buckeye police, more than 70 square miles have been searched using ATVs, cadaver dogs, a drone, a helicopter. They say that despite some rumors online, the only human remains found was that of a human skull, and that did not belong to Daniels. Anyone with info is urged to call Buckeye police.
Okay, so give me a second. I found something, I think. It says something about an update. So let's see what that's about before I pull it up here, because that definitely was not them. But it says the family of Janelle Day and Daniel Robinson missing for weeks, push for answers. And it was 13 minutes ago. Hold on. Let me see what that's about before I. Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to have to read this one. I'm going to go ahead and I'll share it, but I have to read it. Hey, Buddha, how are you? Good morning. Going to get shake, have some, have you running BG and HA. Are you able to get on the panel? I could drop the link. Okay, so with a spotlight on Gabby Petito, the parents of 2 missing black men called for action. So that's another one I'm gonna have to look into to see who this is, what this is about. So it says there's national focus over the last few days on the unfolding story of Gabby Petito, the 22-year-old white woman whose death was ruled a homicide on Tuesday, nearly 2 weeks after she was last seen on a cross-country road trip with her now missing boyfriend. Media coverage of the case is intense and, as some people have pointed out, disappropriated to the kind of attention typically given to missing indigenous women and people of color. I don't know what this is. Okay. And then it says the families of 2 black men who have gone missing in recent months, Janelle Day and Daniel Robinson, are drawing attention to the disparity and pleading for the public's help in finding answers. Here are their stories. Okay, here we go. So, aspiring Dr. Janelle Day was last seen in Illinois in August. The search for the missing graduate student, Janelle Day, continues. What can you do right now to help? Keep supporting one another, keep sharing, retweeting, and keep providing any relevant information to Bloomington Police at 309-888-8020. Day, a 25-year-old Illinois State University graduate student was reported missing by his family and a faculty member on August 25th, according to Bloomington Police Department. His family could not reach him after they spoke on spoke on the evening of August 23rd, which is my son's birthday, and he was last seen on surveillance video entering a retail store in Bloomington the morning of August 24th. Police located Day. Hold on one moment. Hello?
Hi, how you doing?
Hold on one second. I'm good. Hold on one second. Okay, you guys, this is Daniel's dad. Hold on one second. First thing I'm going to ask you is, what is your name, please?
Yes, David Robinson.
And who are you to Daniel?
I am Daniel's father.
Okay. Can you guys hear everything clearly?
Yes.
No, I'm asking them. Hold on one second. Can you guys hear me clearly? And can you hear him clearly as well? Put a 1 in the chat if you guys can see, hear me and him clearly. I actually have you on not only on YouTube but also Facebook. So there's going to be multiple social medias hearing this.
Okay.
The more the better, right? We got to find him. Got to find him. Hold on, let me make sure they could hear us first. Shay, can you hear him clearly? Can you say something, Mr. David?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Can you guys hear him clearly? I don't know what's going on here. There we go. Okay, yes, they could hear you clearly. Great. Okay, so first of all, I wanted to find out quickly because I looked online because I was trying to find out his actual age and like when his birthday was going to be. They're saying January 14th, 1997. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. So can you tell me what happened that day when Daniel came up missing, please?
Well, initially, we didn't know he was actually missing. We didn't know that he left his job and he didn't return his job. I was alerted. I was in Columbia, South Carolina, at home. I have a daughter here in Phoenix. She got alerted from one of Daniel's co-workers that came to her house, her apartment, and let her know that Daniel wasn't on a job. From that point, she decided to call me. I'm not sure if she called her mother, but she called me and let me know, hey, look, we're looking for Daniel. They said he was on his job and somehow he left and they don't know where he went. So at that point, it wasn't very striking at first. Of course, we have a big time difference from Arizona to South Carolina. Looking at the time, things didn't get really bad up front because, of course, trying to be level-headed. My daughter called me about it, so I had her to go around, search his apartment, try to talk with his friends, see if he decided to go somewhere or something. After I started looking at the time, we couldn't locate him. It's getting over 6 hours from his job, saying that, the last they seen him on his job. That's when I knew, hey, something's not right, because Daniel, he'll never go anytime longer than 6 hours in a way without telling anybody where he was, where he's going or what he's going to do for that day. So that's when I start doing a little bit more worrying as a father. I alerted his mother then, called her and let her know, hey, look, Daniel's hasn't been seen over 6 hours. She agreed with me. That does not like him. Mm. So I decided to call the police department. I first called Tempe. My son is a resident of Tempe, Arizona. And so I called the Tempe Police Department. Those guys in turn told me to call Buckeye because that was the last place my son was seen. So I go ahead and call them and, go ahead and put in that missing person report. But they rejected it first, explaining to me that he's over 18 years old. It takes at least about, I think they gave me 12 hours before you can put in missing person. I laid up time difference from my home and here in Arizona, and I had like 3 hours left or so. Waiting those 3 hours out, a little rough. Wait them out, call them back, say, hey, look, it's been 12 hours now. We need to do something about it. Buckeye Police Department was at front as Officer Cruz. He is very helpful. he's kept contact with me. He put in a missing person report for me. He must have called me, seemed like every 10, 15 minutes. Of course, I wouldn't get no sleep that night. I wasn't willing to sleep either. I needed no answers. Constantly calling me, telling me some updates, what he was doing. He's going to talk to some of the coworkers. He even drove up the area. I think the road at the time I didn't know. It was called Sun Valley Parkway. He drove up and down Sun Valley Parkway to see if he's on the side of the road or anything like that. He in turn also, like I say, just talk to people. And then the next morning, of course, I asked him, send somebody out. He said he couldn't do that because it was, so late. They couldn't get a bird in the air at night. So they'll try something in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I talked to them the next morning. Look, here, y'all looking for my son. He said he tried to talk to his supervisors to get a bird in the air to go search. Because for what he was told, what I was understanding at the time, my son drove off into that desert from the eyewitness that was there, the last guy to see my son.
Okay, and who was this person that saw your son last?
Well, the way it is, my son, he's like I said, he works for this company, Matrix New World. He's a field geologist for them. He went to school to be a geologist. They hired him on as a field geologist.
Mm-hmm.
His job is to go out to certain well sites all over the area of Arizona. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And he usually it's usually be him and whoever he meet at the well site. A representative from a drilling company will always send one person. His company send him, for instance, his coworker with anybody. There's always two of them at the well site at any given time. He was sent there to meet a guy from a company called Weber at the well site.
Mm-hmm.
He met the guy on the road out there from out here. They drove down to the well site in the desert out there. My son decided to it's 9 o'clock in the morning, end the day because it seemed like it was going to rain. They had a discussion about that. According to the gentleman, my son got in his vehicle, kind of waved, left the site, and drove out west into the desert. That's where he was never seen again. And so, yeah, he's definitely, his job is, just to be out, test the water, the rock settlements, and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. So that's his job out there.
Okay, so the guy who witnessed him leaving, saying bye and everything, was he questioned? Did they see if everything what he said was credible?
I don't know if they seen it was credible, but that's how I got the storyline. The storyline came from Buckeye Police Department when Officer Cruz said he spoke with the workers, which was one of the guys that seen my son last. Is also, when he said workers, he's talking about the guys at my son's company at the work site. So I'm not the work site at the well site, but his job. The only two people that was at the work site that day, that well site, was my son and the other gentleman from the company Weber. My son works for Matrix New World. But yeah, they did question him that night. Officer Cruz said he questioned him that night, and that's when I first heard the story of my son supposedly made a west turn out there in the desert and disappeared, in a sense. So that's one of the things that prompted me also from that, and the fact that they didn't put that bird in the air the next morning. It was canceled. What officers told me, it was canceled. His supervisor canceled. They say he's a grown man. Unless he was out there, we reported him as suicidal or something. They weren't going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that prompted me to get my vehicle and start heading out to Arizona because that was an acceptable answer for me. But in the process of that 3-day trip, by the time I was just getting here in Phoenix, I had an auntie from Philadelphia who was able to get into contact with the Buckeye Police in some way. She was able to convince them, with at least stuff they told us, to get the Firebird in the air from Phoenix Police Department
Mm-hmm.
to go out there and search.
Wow. Okay, so what is the name of the police that you've been talking to and dealing through?
This one was Officer Cruz.
Cruz.
Then once I got here on the 26th of June, that's when they end up adding in a detective. I started dealing with that department.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so when exactly did they say the wreck happened? And was he in the car when the wreck happened? Do they know that?
Well, if you listen, there's two different, I guess, investigations in the sense, or two different theory.
Mm-hmm.
From the point of the Buckeye Police Department, one thing I know at the time, of course, I was out there, was satisfied with the Buckeye Police Department search. They only did one search at the time, and also they had a second search. That's the first search I was speaking of, but then they had a second search with the Civil Air Patrol. That's before the vehicle was found. And so when the vehicle was found, it was found by a rancher. He owned that land out there, chasing his cattle. He ran into the vehicle. Of course, it was in the news at the time, local news. They looked for my son's vehicle, and he figured that's probably what the vehicle was because he remembered the description, so he called it into the Buckeye. So they're the one that I'm sorry, they're the one that
Located the Jeep?
Right, it's actually the rancher located the Jeep and called them in.
Okay.
Now, from the Buckeye's perspective, they was telling me that it appears the vehicle rolled over, went down a ravine, 20-foot ravine, rolled over several times. I think kind of nosedive or something, and then landed on its side. They tell me the airbags deployed. My son appeared to have a seatbelt on, and there was no blood in the vehicle. And what was explained to me is that, Officer Detective Diffin was asking me about my son's clothing, what type of underwear he wears. Do he wear briefs or boxers or something out of other?
Mm-hmm.
I told him, how would I know that? But they say all of that was on the ground. His socks, everything he was wearing on his person was 3 feet away from the vehicle in the pile. His safety vest put away from that. They just say they didn't see any footprints or anything like that. They say they used cadaver dogs, search dogs. That came up empty.
Mm-hmm.
And the narrative was, the theory was, they tell me that the vehicle was going like over 30-some miles per hour at the impact. And like I say, he had the seatbelt on. Of course, I had to accept that story, other than the point where Detective Biffin started explaining to me that his theory was that my son most likely sustained a major brain injury.
Mm-hmm.
And he shredded his clothes off. He walked out there in the desert naked, and he went to go to a monastery to become a monk or something out of it. And of course, saying things like that to me prompted me to, and also with my volunteers, we out there on the ground trying to search for my son, prompted me to get my own investigator.
Mm-hmm.
So the investigator changed. My investigator came in. He examined the exact data that the Buckeye Police Department pulled from the vehicle. He's an accident reconstructionist, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Pull that data that they pulled from the black box off the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
He looked at the damage on the vehicle. He also took the statement from the rancher, who took dozens of pictures before the officers got there.
Mm-hmm.
And with everything that he had gotten, he realized, first of all, just looking, seeing the vehicle, examining the vehicle, the damage wasn't done on any kind of on that terrain. It didn't match the terrain.
Mm-hmm.
There was no damage to the roof of the vehicle, so it wasn't a rollover. And so when he went into the data that the Buckeye Police Department shared with him, he found that not only the vehicle was crashed multiple times, but when the first airbag deployment, the vehicle was cranked over 40 sometimes. It was driven over several miles, I think roughly, they say 7 or 12 miles after the first initial crash.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the terrain and everything, where the vehicles land, and looking at the tracks and everything, the vehicle seemed to have been staged where it was at, where it was located. And also, like I said, with the testimony of the rancher who chases his cattle to his land, he was there 2 days prior, and the vehicle wasn't there in that area. He explained a lot of the rancher explained a lot of things. Hey, look, it's there. They didn't have enough dirt on it. His cattle would have been licking on it. There would have been, cow stuff around it.
Mm-hmm.
They would have been, they would have been messing with it. They would have been messing with that vehicle. Only because he had also had a case of water in there, and they would have been trying to get to the water.
Mm-hmm.
They would have been messing with the clothing on the ground, that kind of stuff. With all of that, that was an indication of possible foul play. My investigator was able to take the entertainment system and get the exact time and when the first air deployment was made. The first initial crash, it was 4 hours after my son went missing.
Mm-hmm.
On the same day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of information out there with that that indicates that it's possible foul play. We turned that over to Buckeye Police Department, which now took that information and shut down. They won't talk to my investigator anymore. They don't talk to me anymore and give me information. So I had to turn to petition and turn to the media to try to get them to do the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was actually looking into the case, and he did say that they drove an additional 11 miles after the airbag deployed. I don't know how that happened, because when an airbag deploys, your steering wheel literally bursts. The whole part where the airbag is, it bursts.
Yes.
So how could that person or I'm not going to say your son, because how could that person, whoever it is that drove the additional 11 miles, could have did that? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me, because my husband has been in a wreck before. We live in Louisiana. He got into a wreck and he hit a deer, and and he ended up, his airbag deployed, and there's no fixing it. You literally have to get a whole new steering wheel. There's no way. So that part does not make any sense to me. As well as he said they tried to turn it 46 times after the accident happened.
Right.
I'm like, what? I don't understand that. So they're not 100% that your child was in there when the wreck happened, right?
I don't know. I don't know, and that's what the question I kind of asked the Buckeye Police Department. Like, look, I had to sit down with Chief Hall and his staff and his detectives. Once the vehicle's found, I mean, they literally, the detective literally called me in the next day when that vehicle was found. Had me up to the police department up there, and after he showed me the vehicle, threatened to have it towed away and charged me some kind of storage fee. I, of course, was angry about that. Found out they didn't do any forensics work on the scene, things like that. So, of course, I'm, very angry in there about that.
Mm-hmm.
I asked the same question. Look, how you know my son's in the vehicle?
Yeah.
The answer was, obviously, it's his vehicle, so he obviously was in it, something or the other. I was like, well, how you really know that? If you did forensic work. No, we didn't do any forensic work with that because there was no blood in the vehicle. Okay, well, I'm thinking about scanning everything, fingerprinting or whatever. But make a long story of that. After I fussed about it, they waited 3 days or so afterwards. They decided to hold the vehicle another additional days to do fingerprinting on it. But it was after the fact that they moved it from the scene, got it back in their compound, and decided to do that kind of work. That's the question I always have myself. Like, look, how you know my son was there?
Yeah.
they botched botched the whole thing. So a lot of things never get answered for, I guess.
Oh, you were going to get answers because hopefully, this gets out there, because I was dumbfounded when I found out that nobody knew about this, about Daniel. There's a bunch of cases that are out there that nobody knows anything about. And I'm really dumbfounded by this because, like, it's a big thing. It's not something small. It's a big thing. Why doesn't everybody know about this? They have certain cases that are blown up to where everything gets taken care of within, weeks of it happening. And here's this case since hold on one second, let me see, June 23rd to this date, and he's not found. And then they don't even know if he drove that car, if he was in that car when this wreck happened. But they want to say that they don't want to go look into it because, excuse me, I get very I get upset when I hear things like this, so I kind of can't get my words out. But I just don't get how they can sit here and tell you they're not going to look in there and investigate the car, and because there's no blood, there's no this, there's that. There's a way to find things. There's the smallest little speck of anything, any tiny fingerprint, anything they could find that was not supposed to have been in that car, that is not your son's. They can say, hey, we'll start looking into this, and they can take these clues and turn it into something and be able to tell you what's going on instead of sitting here telling you they can't do anything about it. I don't get that.
They don't want to do anything about it. That's my impression. Anytime you can turn a vehicle over to me the next day after you found it, you didn't do any forensics work, right? And then you turn over all my son's belongings and evidence bags, but you got it marked for safekeeping. You're not planning to do anything with it. You're not planning to do any further investigation. They came on, Buckeye Department came on a week later and say, hey, we exhausted all our leads. There's no foul play. We exhausted all our leads.
Wow.
They exhausted the leads because they didn't search for anything. Because it's ironic that when they said that, I was able to start a search. And I love my volunteers. They work hard, rigorously. We have our searches from 5:45 in the morning for a safety briefing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll be out there from 6 o'clock on. It's supposed to be 6 to 10, but a lot of people have to stay on later.
Yeah.
And we found more things as civilians than Buckeye have as a professional.
Wow.
So they exhausted all their leads. How come we was finding things? We found a skull that they're trying to take credit for.
Mm-hmm.
Just certain little things. Found the human remains. We know those are human remains. We took pictures, but they now turn to say they're all animal bones or something. So, we found a lot in the same area they say they searched.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't want to really do work real hard work. It's one thing to put a plane in the air and fly, and so you can put it on your logbook and say, hey, look, I was looking for this guy.
Mm-hmm.
We put a bird in the air. We had some air patrol. We did this. But when you count your searches up, you only did three searches.
Mm-hmm.
But you spread it out and you put it out there in the media, and you word it a certain way to make it seem like it was multiple, and you work with all these agencies, and no, it's opposite of that. It was opposite of that. The work was done by myself and my volunteers, and I give all the credit to my volunteers because they work really hard.
Thank God for the volunteers. Thank God for the volunteers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yes. And I'm not gonna let anybody take credit away from them. Those people worked hard, and they still out there. As we speak, you have people out there taking their own time to go search for Daniel. You would never see Buckeye out there searching for Daniel. So I'm not bashing the police, but I'm just making awareness of what's really going on. Sometimes wording or what people say could be a false perception of what's really going on.
Right. So I hate to put this in this way, but this is the only way I could put it. But I feel like it's a race thing. If it was a white person, would they be treating you as the same? I'm just trying to put that out there.
I hope not. And that's the thing. I think about 90, 8% of my volunteers, for instance, are white people, and I love them to death.
That's awesome. No, I'm
Oh,
not.
yes.
Yeah, not on their part. I'm talking about in the police part of it, because I hear a lot of people say they take some cases and they treat them like gold, and other cases like they're nothing, like it's not worth their time.
That's true. That's true, and that's what I'm saying. It's hard to want to think that way, but then you have to come to the reality. It always slaps you in the face every time. You try to think opposite of that. Like, you know what? Everybody's not the same, and then they end up turning out to be the same way. Yeah. When I was forced to look at other people's cases, I have people call me all the time about their loved ones missing and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that kind of forced me to start do my own research about things. And I see a lot of people of color, for instance, you never hear about.
Right.
And I'm like, why is that? You know, and so it do make you kind of wonder sometimes.
Yes.
What's going on?
Yes. I mean, like I said, like they got this case right now that they just found the girl. She was murdered, and it was a homicide. But they got that case done like within approximately 2 weeks. And here, this has been going on since June 23rd. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's unacceptable. I don't understand why they would do this. There's so many cases out there, like you said, people of color who are being treated like they're, you know, way different than they treat white people. I'm sorry to say. I hate to put it that way, but that's just the way I feel. My husband is African American, so I'm not, but he's definitely African American. My kids are mixed, so I definitely see a lot of that. I do see a lot of that because my husband's African American. I do see a lot of it, how they treat people and mistreat them. So I hope this gets out here. I will, like I said, I have it going on my Facebook. I have it going on my multiple YouTube channels. I'm also going to share this on my Instagram. Once I'm finished, I'll go ahead and send it to them. They'll be able to look at. I have over 4,000 people on there. I have over 10K on my TikTok. So I will be sharing it on all my social medias. And I want them to try and see if anybody's in Arizona, they can try and help and look for him as well.
Yes.
That you guys need all the help you can get, and I know you probably got a massive amount of volunteers, but it's never too much.
Exactly, and also it brings awareness to other people, families who go through the same thing.
Yes, yeah. I just actually was looking on the website while I was waiting for you. I was actually looking on the website, and I saw another person that's been missing for a while now. His name is Jemiah, I think is how you say his name, Jemiah.
Yeah.
You heard about him?
Yes.
Yes. So that's another person that needs to be looked into as well. Like, come on, what is going on in this world? Stop. I don't get it. You guys they need to really look into it as soon as it pops up. And as soon as the parent calls, says, look, because nowadays it's going on too much. So when a parent calls and says my child is missing, take it serious. Nobody's going to play around like this. Nobody's going to sit here and say that something's going on that's not going on. So they need to take it serious.
Yeah, the first 48 hours is crucial.
Yes, because how do we know if let's just say it was him driving and he was injured? He could have been sitting on the side of that car until somebody came and helped him. If they would have just looked for him within 24 to 48 hours, who knows? Maybe the outcome would be different. You wouldn't be sitting here searching for him. You wouldn't have a PI looking for him, searching, trying to figure things out with the car, the way it was driven 11 miles more. And they're finding, you said they found his clothes outside of the car?
Yes, everything he was wearing, right. Indicating that he, walked off undressed.
That's weird. Why would they say that? That doesn't sound right to me.
Yes.
So does that sound right to you? Like, why would your child, like, your kid, would your kid do something like that? Like, just take his clothes off and just go?
No, I know he wouldn't do that.
No.
And the fact that it's his Buckeye, the police department collected all those items. and like I said, batted up and gave it to me. I never opened those items of the badge they gave me. I turned it over to my investigator once he came on board. And one of my searchers out there, my investigator came along, his team to do their job. They ended up finding one of my son's socks near the work site that he went missing, which is only 2 miles away, about roughly 2 miles away from the crash site. They found the vehicle, but they found a sock out there. He thought it was weird. He took his proper protocol of camps in that little area, look for stains, and then out of curiosity, he was able to get that bag open the proper way, evidence bag, and lo and behold, that sock that they found out there matched one of the socks inside the evidence bag. So that indicates something happened near that well site. So a lot of that is at the same time they still come to a fact, say, hey, look, we're still not suspecting foul play, and only thing I can think of them keep standing on that thing is so they don't have to do anything, because once they call it a possible criminal case, that means they have to actually do some work,
Right.
So and that's easy for them if they can keep it that way and keep it just a missing person case. That means they don't have to do anything.
Right. I have someone in the chat that said, have they checked the fuse box to find out where the vehicle dislocator is and fingerprint it?
I don't know what that is.
Buddha,
sure.
can you expand on your, like put a detailed text in there or chat in there, please, so we can see if we can explain that? It would help a lot, please. Thank you. Yeah, and then Shay in there also says it seems like foul play to me. It does. It definitely does. I mean, like he said, it doesn't make sense how if the Jeep was in such a bad way and then somebody just drives it a whole nother 11 miles after the airbag deployed. I really don't get that part. So let me see if she can figure it out. Maybe I can look it up. Let's see, the fuse box locator. Let's see. I can look that up while we're on here.
Okay.
Fuse box dislocator. Okay. It's saying like where the electrical fuses are.
Yeah, I haven't actually everything on that vehicle. My investigator, he in turn took possession of that vehicle. So anything, I haven't even personally myself looked into that vehicle. I haven't even touched the vehicle. So those that device that was she's asking, the person asking, I never heard of that device, but I'm sure my investigator went through everything on that vehicle. I'm really confident he did. At least I hope so.
Right. Can you maybe mention that and see if maybe he knows what that is to explain to you a little bit more of what it is?
Yes.
Yeah, that would be great. And then if you could give me that information, that way we can put it out there. Then, once they do find out if there's anything, if there was anything else they could find, I really want to help you find Daniel. That's his name, guys. His name is Daniel Robinson, and his dad's name is David Robinson. He has brothers and sisters that's going through it as well. They want to find their brother, and he wants to find his son. And I know that you said you had somewhere to go by what time?
Yes, my time is located now.
Oh, okay, you're there. Okay, so yeah, that's what we need to do. We need to try to get this word out about Daniel Robinson being missing and where he's from, what happened. Share this as far as it can go, like to the end, to the end of the world. Just like share it. Everybody share it so we can get all this out. Sorry?
I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And I hope we do. I hope we do find him. I'm not even kidding. When you find him, make sure you let me know, because I would love to hear good news. I love to hear good news. And I really think prayers work as well, putting it in God's hands, and he'll do what he has to do for you as well.
Yes, thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
thank you for your listeners. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. I just wish a lot of other people got in here, but so many people are worrying about these other cases that are, they're actually just about done with the case. They just have to find out who did it. And I feel like, no, let's get on the cases that are not being resolved yet. Those are the ones you need to get on. Don't get on the ones that are already basically resolved. Let's get on the ones that are, that need help and need to find what's going on and I just can't. I don't understand this. I really can't understand this at all. It's just too much of it. Too much of missing children. Too much missing adults, young adults. I mean, I don't know. It's sad.
Yes, and thank you so much.
You're welcome. And you have a wonderful day. And thank you for coming and talking to us. I wish you would have been able to get on the panel. They would have been able to see you. But I get it. I get it.
Yes, we get it. I use a different phone this time.
Okay. All right. So we'll get back on here again and talk about it again. If you find out anything else, please don't hesitate to let me know, and we'll get on here and do it again and get that more information out there for everybody to hear. And also next time we'll get on the panel so that way we can actually see each other, meet each other in person. That would be great. And maybe we can, get more information out there. Like I said, I'm going to put it on all my social medias. When I say my TikTok is over 10K, I'm going to try to get all these people to kind of start sharing this, and we're going to get this going here. We're going to get it going.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You are welcome. And you have a wonderful and fabulous day, and stay safe, because, we still have that virus thing floating around.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Stay safe. Take care.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. David. Bye-bye. So that's his dad. We couldn't get him on here, and you heard him. He had a hard time getting on. Next time he said he's going to use a different phone, and that way we can go ahead and, hopefully we'll be able to help him. And like I said, I'm going to share this on all my social medias so we can get this information out there. We need to come on and find him. Such a young person to go through this. And Crafty One, hello, how are you? And no, you're late, but not late. At least you came, right? Never late is better than never. So I appreciate you getting on here. I'm gonna let you guys hear this video real quick. Hold on 1 second. So that's his dad and himself. That's him. Hold on 1 second. So this is Daniel right here. This is Daniel. He's a genealogist. So he's oh, thank you, Shay. Thank you. I appreciate that. I was a little nervous, but you know what? It kind of like started flowing how they say things just kind of start flowing after a while? That's what I felt. Like it just kind of started flowing. But yeah, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. But like I said, we all need to share this. We need to get out here with this and share this. So I'm going to look into the other one as well, because they're saying like it has, similarity. But this is the father, and I'm going to let you guys see this video, and then we'll go. And I'll probably get on later since I did such a short live.
Carolina home to Phoenix.
I had to find my son.
His 24-year-old son, Daniel, missing since June 23rd.
I'm trying to make calls as I'm driving. I just had hopes that by the time I got here, something would turn up and I would see my son. I get to put my arms around him and talk to him and try to find out what's going on.
Buckeye police say Daniel was last seen driving a blue 2017 Jeep Renegade away from his work site near Sun Valley Parkway and Cactus Road.
The area he was last seen is a desert. So you got to be prepared for that. You have to get water. You have to get certain things to you just go out there to look, So
He graduated 3 years ago with a major in archaeology, moving to Arizona and living in Tempe for work.
he just loved nature. He loved his job. He's a geologist.
He worked as a field geologist at Matrix New World, offices based in Phoenix, Prescott, and Tucson. In a statement to 12 News, the company says they have been coordinating with the family to the best of their ability, and Daniel is a valued member of our team. We are very concerned. Meanwhile, David says he will stay here for as long as it takes, hoping and searching until his son is home.
We're not going to stop. We're going to try to spread the word as far as we can. I had to find my child. I had to find my son. So.
And the family has set up a website for the public to reach out to them with any information regarding Daniel's disappearance. We have that information on our website at 12news.com. We're in Buckeye. Josh Sanders, 12 News.
So they're making it seem like they did so much, right, Shay? And then he just said they didn't. Let me send him a link to the interview. Give me 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to put another video up, but hold on 1 second.
At this time, the department has no evidence to suspect foul play or a crime. McGrath doesn't believe Daniel's disappearance was criminal either, after discovering he may have been struggling with his mental health weeks prior to his disappearance. Whatever the reason, his goal remains to find Daniel Robinson.
I don't know why that was so short. Hold on. All right, I found a video. Give me a second. Sharing it now.
Native Daniel Robinson has been missing for nearly 3 months. And as the Petito case continues to intensify, Robinson's family is hoping that it will bring renewed interest in their son's unsolved disappearance. The 24-year-old geologist was last seen leaving a job site in Arizona on the morning of June 23rd. He was reported missing that same day, and authorities launched a massive search. About a month later, a rancher found Robinson's Jeep on his property, approximately 4 miles southwest of the job site where Robinson was last seen. Daniel's cell phone, wallet, and keys were all found in his Jeep. Just over a week later, police said a human skull was found in the area of the job site, but authorities determined it was not Robinson's skull, and no other additional human remains were found. Now, this story has many twists and turns, and we've got it all posted for you right now on WLTX.com as well as the News 19 mobile app. And of course, we'll stay on your side as we continue to follow this developing story.
Yeah, that was a different video. I haven't seen that one yet. Hold on, let me see something. All right, give me a minute. Okay, let's see if this one is a good one.
Has dominated news headlines and mobilized a legion of social media users. Hashtag Find Gabby Petito gaining over 700 million views on TikTok.
I'm hoping this can help someone identify him.
Many of them now internet sleuths, exchanging theories as well as sharing info about possible sightings and clues.
Psychologically, people just felt very close to her because of social media.
But here's the despairing truth. Gabby Petito is one of so many reported missing each year. At the end of 2020, the FBI had over 89,000 active missing persons cases. 45% of those cases, people of color. Petito's story has renewed debate about which cases get attention and the media's seeming infatuation with missing white women. But her case also sparked a call to action to bring others home, like Daniel Robinson, a 24-year-old geologist who went missing in the desert outside Buckeye, Arizona in late June. His Jeep was found mangled July 19th, about 4 miles from where he was last seen. The Buckeye Police Department says in a statement, investigators are utilizing every resource possible to locate him, including assistance from partner agencies and information provided by the public. His family has also organized searches in the desert heat.
I thank God for all the volunteers who left their houses every morning, in the mornings and spend out time out there in the desert.
There's also Maya Miliete and Jelani Day. Miliete, a mother of 3, has been missing for over 9 months. The 39-year-old was last seen at her family home in Chula Vista, California. Day, a 25-year-old graduate student at Illinois State University, was last seen August 24th in Bloomington, Illinois. His car was discovered 2 days later, but no signs of Day.
Jelani is, he's a sweetheart. I shouldn't have to beg. I shouldn't have to plead. I shouldn't have to feel that there is a racial disparity. I shouldn't have to feel any of that. I want these people that have these resources to realize this could happen to them.
Now taking action to help find his son.
Yeah, that's right. New at 6, he shares his story with our Nicole Grigg.
Where we're at, this is actually a really remote location here in the desert. Daniel Robinson, he's a hydrologist. He was actually working past these gates right here, testing the groundwater. He has not been
Exactly.
seen
I don't
since.
get it either.
David Robinson taking us down a dirt road. His son Daniel was last seen driving June 23rd.
It's like he came out here and just vanished off the face of the earth.
This father on a desperate search
Frustrates me because I can't get closer.
in the West Valley desert that has taken him 2,000 miles, driving from his home in South Carolina to find his son.
Roughly 155 pounds, 160 pounds. He was born without the right hand. And so that's one of the things a lot of people would recognize, but he never did let that stop him from anything.
Buckeye police sharing this map where Robinson was last seen heading west as he left that job site. Detectives say they don't expect foul play, but no indications through family or friends that Robinson wanted to harm himself. Although he's been known to go on spontaneous trips, he's always told family when he's leaving. This retired Army soldier father questions on if someone harmed him.
After 3 weeks, I'm thinking something need to change. The focus need to change. We need to look at every direction, every stone need to be unturned.
Police have searched for him both on the ground and by helicopter with no luck. Also missing his 2017 Jeep Renegade. There's been no bank or credit card activity, no cell activity.
I ask God every day, let him be safe and let me find him. I pray about that every morning, every night.
The father is hoping to plan his own search with volunteers in the next day or two. The dad tells me that he is working with Buckeye police to make sure they go where they're allowed to. As for police, they tell me that they've exhausted all their leads. Reporting in Buckeye, Nicole Grigg, ABC 15, Arizona.
No, we have the vehicle.
Time tonight, a family desperate.
Oh, wait. That's another one.
No, we have the vehicle, but we don't have my son.
Now to another story we're following. A father searching for answers after his son's SUV is finally located, but there's still no word on where that son is.
Daniel Robinson disappeared on June 23rd in the far West Valley and hasn't been seen since. Team 12's Michael Dowdna spoke with his father earlier this evening and joins us live from the Alert Center. Michael?
Yeah, guys, Daniel Robinson moved to Arizona to achieve a dream, to travel and to become a geologist, which all went well until last month when he disappeared.
And as the days go by, it's worse and worse for me.
It's been nearly a month since 24-year-old Daniel Robinson was last seen driving off his work site in Buckeye.
Where's my son?
David Robinson drove all the way from South Carolina with that question in mind. On Monday, a break.
I was scared, to be honest with you. When I first got the call, I thought I was going to hear more than just a vehicle.
Police locating Daniel's blue SUV rolled over in a ravine 4 miles southwest from his work site. Airbags deployed, but no sign of Daniel.
I think if it's a rollover, there'll be debris all over the place. There'll be damage on the ground, things like that. There's none of that.
But what police did find was Daniel's cell phone, wallet, keys, and clothes inside the Jeep. But there were no tracks, no scent that canines could follow.
So everything always leads to the same thing, no answers.
But even after almost a month of that unanswered question, David is still keeping the faith.
Despite of what I see, despite of what I know, I really believe that one day I'm going to find my son and I'm going to put my arms around him and he's going to be okay.
And it's that hope that's keeping David going, thinking of the day he could be reunited with his son once again.
I won't give up. I'm not going to give up. I'm not leaving until I see him again. I'm not leaving. I'm going to stand right here.
Now, police were able to tell that Daniel's seatbelt was actually engaged at the time of the crash, thanks to a black box type computer inside the SUV. But that computer could not tell the time or the date of that crash. Live in the Alert Center, Michael Downer, 12 News.
Tonight, the family of 24-year-old Daniel Robinson, who had disappeared more than 2 weeks ago, rather, after leaving his job in Buckeye, continues to search for answers.
Team 12's Josh Sanders spoke with Daniel's father, who drove all the way from South Carolina to help in the search.
David Robinson had only one thought on his mind as he drove the nearly 1,800 miles from his South Carolina home to Phoenix.
I had to find my son.
His 24-year-old son, Daniel, missing since June 23rd.
Trying to make calls as I'm driving. I just had hopes that by the time I got here, something would turn up and I would see my son. I get to put my arms around him and talk to him and try to find out what's going on.
Buckeye police say Daniel was last seen driving a blue 2017 Jeep Renegade away from his work site near Sun Valley Parkway and Cactus Road.
The area he was last seen is a desert, so you got to be prepared for that. You have to get water. You have to get certain things to just go out there to look, so.
He graduated 3 years ago with a major in archaeology, moving to Arizona and living in Tempe for work.
He just loved nature. He loved his job. He's a geologist.
He worked as a field geologist at Matrix New World, offices based in Phoenix, Prescott, and Tucson. In a statement to 12 News, the company says they have been coordinating with the family to the best of their ability, and Daniel is a valued member of our team. We are very concerned. Meanwhile, David says he will stay here for as long as it takes, hoping and searching until his son is home.
We're not going to stop. We're going to try to spread the word as far as we can. I had to find my child. I had to find my son. So.
And the family has set up a website for the public to reach out to them with any information regarding Daniel's disappearance. We have that information on our website at 12news.com. We're in Buckeye. Josh Sanders, 12 News.
This is sad. I'm sharing while I'm doing my live. I'm actually sharing on my Instagram right now. All right, so I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna finish sharing on all my social medias, and hopefully we can get this information out there. So I'd appreciate it if you do watch this video, to please share it out. The more people see this, the more help he can possibly get. They are in Arizona, so I'd appreciate it. Thank you. You guys have a great day. Bye. Bye, Shay. Thank you for staying with me this whole time. Bye, babe.